Hi, and welcome to our motorcycle exhaust guide. In this section, we're looking at the Canadian laws around this issue. So, Canada governs how loud and emissive a motorcycle can be, and they enforce these laws on the motorcycle manufacturers themselves. So, in that sense, it's pretty easy. If you're buying a stock bike for sale, for street use in Canada, you can be pretty assured that it's going to be legal. The exhaust on that is going to be legal. Of course, aftermarket motorcycle exhaust manufacturers live inside this loophole. You see, the problem is that a motorcycle exhaust itself is neither loud or emissive, so the burden falls on the installer. That would be you, who actually puts that exhaust on a motorcycle. You have to make sure that what you've done is actually legal there. So what kind of regulations are we talking about? Well, the first one and the obvious one is going to be noise. In Canada, it's governed mainly by municipal bylaws, so it's a bit hard to pin down. In some cities, there are noise regulations that are actually lower than 92 decibels, and I've linked to a couple examples below, so that's quite quiet. On the provincial level, it's even more obscure. In Ontario, for instance, the Highway Traffic Act makes it illegal for anyone to cause their motorcycle or their vehicle to make unnecessary noise, and whatever that means, it probably has something to do with how much you've pissed off the police officer. Basically, what I would say is that if you think that your motorcycle is loud, then it's probably illegal somewhere in Canada. The best thing you can do is just keep a light handle on the throttle in domestic areas and, of course, around cops. The next legal issue you're going to look at is going to be fire hazards. So if you have a street bike spitting flames out the back of your exhaust, you can be pretty assured that it's not going to be illegal. If you are an off-road rider, if you're riding anywhere on Crown land, then you're going to need to have an exhaust with a spark arrestor in it. If you're riding on private land, then you can get away without one. On some closed course MX courses, you can get away without a spark arrestor as well, but it's going to be up to you to talk to the governing body of that racetrack in question to see what the legalities are there. The last thing that you're going to be looking at is going to be emissions. Canada conforms to the American emission regulations for whatever reason, and I've linked to them below this video. Of course, those numbers aren't going to be very useful to you. Unless you have lab equipment, there's really no way that you're going to be able to tell how many carbons are coming out of the back of your bike. So instead, we have a couple rules of thumb. Basically, first off, if you lock the catalytic converter off of your bike when installing that new exhaust, you can be pretty sure that your motorcycle isn't street legal anymore. The other thing is the PAIR valve. This is the passive air injection valve. It allows fresh air to flow into the motorcycle exhaust, into that rich mixture before it actually exits the tailpipe. So if you blocked your PAIR valve, you can be pretty sure that your motorcycle isn't legal for street use anymore either. Again, real-life application of this is a little bit more obscure. Mandatory emissions tests aren't really present anywhere in Canada. So the real issue is if you're going to move your motorcycle across a border permanently. So if you want to sell it in the States or you want to import a bike into Canada, that's where they're going to actually do these emissions tests. So if you put an aftermarket exhaust on your bike, be sure to hold on to that stock exhaust because you may have to put it back on there if you try to move your bike overseas. That's it for this section on the Canadian laws of motorcycle exhaust. We have more coming up, but for this much, thank you for watching.